Hello, I thought today I'd make some gingerbread biscuits with you, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because there's a story in the Bible straight after Jesus has risen from the dead called the Road to Emmaus, and it's about two disciples. Now, it was just after Jesus had risen from the dead, and these disciples were walking to a little village called Emmaus, just 7 miles outside of Jerusalem. And they were really sad because their friend Jesus had died, and they didn't really understand why, or who he was, or what he had taught them. And they were trying to talk it over and make sense of it, the way that you do. Whilst they were walking, a stranger came and walked beside them. "Hello," he said. "Why are you so sad?" "What?" they said. "Where have you been? Haven't you been in Jerusalem this past weekend? Don't you know what's happened? Haven't you heard about Jesus and the fact that he was killed?" "Well, let us tell you." So they carried on walking with the stranger, and they told him what had happened. Well, the stranger started to explain to them what the Bible had said and how the Bible had talked about Jesus coming and Jesus needing to die and rising again. And the fact that Jesus did that so that everybody could have a relationship with God again, to be friends with God again, to rescue us all back to be with God. Well, the friends felt a lot more cheered up. And as they got to Emmaus, where they lived, they asked the stranger if he would like to come and have dinner with them. So I expect they got their little drinks ready. You see that one? And, oh, it's fallen over. They had a loaf of bread. Well, the funniest thing happened. As the stranger broke the bread, they suddenly realised it was Jesus. But at that point, Jesus disappeared. The friends were so excited. "We've seen Jesus. We've got to go back and tell the others." So do you know what they did? They jumped up, they turned around, and they ran back that 7 miles all the way back to Jerusalem to tell the others. Well, if you read that version in the Bible, it's in Luke 24. There's a really interesting verse at the end that I'm going to read to you. It says, "When he was at table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, 'Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road?'" And that's why we're going to make gingerbread, because the phrase "our hearts burning warmly within us" is a way of describing how you feel inside when you know Jesus is with you. It's not a head knowledge necessarily. You don't understand everything, but you know that Jesus is with you. Now, ginger biscuits need ginger in them, and ginger is a very warming, fiery sort of spice. And as you eat your ginger biscuits, your mouth will feel strangely warm, and it will help you remember that your heart feels strangely warmed when you're with Jesus. So I'm going to put the oven on and get started. Hello, so the oven's on. The first thing I'm going to do is to put my brown sugar. Again, it says dark muscovado sugar, I think, but just grab whatever sugar you've got in the cupboard. If it's brown, brilliant. If it isn't, it'll still taste good. Okay, so put that in into a saucepan, I should have said, because we're going to melt this on the stove. So make sure you've got an adult doing this bit for you. Then you want to scoop your butter in to the pan. Then, this is the fun bit, you're going to squirt 2 tablespoons of golden syrup in. So squirt it all out. Okay, scrape it in. And then we'll do another one. Now, I've actually halved the mixture here. It tells you that you can make 24 biscuits, but I don't think I'm going to eat 24 biscuits, you'll be pleased to hear. So I've halved it, so I should make about 12. So you'll find all the measurements of the ingredients on the website. Okay, so now I need to melt this gently on the stove. So I'm going to put it over here, turn it on, and leave it to melt gently while I do the next bit. Okay, so now we need to sieve, which I don't normally do, to be honest, as you chuck it all in and end up with lumpy biscuits, but I thought I better had because it says on the recipe. So your flour, your ginger, which is going to make them smell and taste all warm, and a bit of bicarb of soda. In they go. Okay, so sieve them in. Try not to get it all over the place, which is what I normally do. And then if you've got a little bit left over at the end, or I haven't got a clean spoon, or I'm just going to use my fingers, just push those bits through. Great. Okay, so now I just need to wait for the syrup stuff and sugar and butter to melt. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'll get back to you when it's done. So my sugary mixture is all completely melted now. Do be careful that you don't put it on too high and let it burn, because otherwise it will become sort of caramelized and it will make a sort of slightly bitter, burnt sort of taste. But you know, that's still acceptable. That's all good. Okay, now, and again, you probably want an adult to do this. Check you have turned your hob off. You need to pour the hot melted mixture into the flour. So I'm going to do that. Put my pan down on a heated mat. Just trying to remember all the health and safety things to remember here. And then stir it all in. There we go. You see? Stir the mixture together and a dough should appear. Now, I'm hoping these work better than my hot cross buns, because I'm very sorry to say my hot cross buns didn't rise at all, and they were more like hot cross rocks. But never mind, I enjoyed making them. So this has pretty much almost come together. I'm going to sort of squash it together a bit more so that I know everything is mixed in. Now, again, it tells me to put the dough onto a floured surface. So I'm going to put a bit of flour here, and I'm going to empty it onto the flour. Okay, now I need to check that you can see that. If you can't, I will come and move the camera a bit. Right, I'm going to come and move the camera a bit. Okay, you can see the dough now. Can't see me so easily, so I'm just going to contort myself somehow so that you can see me as well. What we're going to do is we're going to sort of knead it gently together, but not sort of over knead it, because that makes it go quite dry. Okay, I need a rolling pin, and I'm going to coat my rolling pin in flour like that, and then I'm going to roll it out really gently. Okay, we don't want it to stick. Oops, it's coming apart. Now, this is the bit of the recipe where it says roll it out to a thickness of about 5 millimeters. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always been pretty hopeless at estimating. So I'm not ashamed to get a ruler to help me. So here we are, 5 millimeters, nearly there. I'm going to roll out a little bit more, and then I'm going to start cutting the shapes out. Okay, now hopefully you have got a baking tray ready with some baking paper on it. So we'll put that there. And it's more fun if you can do your biscuits in the shape of a heart, because we're talking about our hearts being strangely warmed. But you might not have a heart cutter. I must admit, when I looked around the kitchen today, I had plenty of snowflakes, chicks, and egg shapes, and I only just found a heart. So let's cut them out. See how many you can get from one bit of dough. I kind of quite like the challenge. I don't think I'm going to do very well here. Let's see. It's supposed to be 12. Okay, let's count how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Brilliant. I can reform to make a 12th. Now I'm going to slide them out and put them on the tray. Oh dear, I obviously can't count. 3 rows of 4 is 12. So we've already got 12, but I think there's enough mixture to press it together again and make a couple more. Right, let's put them in the oven for 9 to 10 minutes. I think I'll put them in for 9 and just have a little look later. See you in a minute. Okay, so they've had some time in the oven, about 10 minutes in the end, and they look nice and golden brown. A little bit soft to the touch still, but they'll firm up when they cool down. So I need to let them cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to transfer them on the rack to cool down even more, and then we will taste them. So here we are, back where we started, with our disciples on the road to Emmaus, and Jesus drawing alongside them and spending time with them. And even though they didn't at that point understand who he was, they remembered afterwards that their hearts had burned inside them while he had talked to them. That feeling of warmth, of knowing that Jesus is with us. So I've put some biscuits on the plate here that I will share with my family, I promise, but I'm just going to have a little sneaky bite now, and I'm going to see if I can taste the ginger and the warmth. These are much more successful than the hot cross buns. Right amount of ginger too. Anyway, I'm breaking all the rules. I'm speaking with my mouth full, but hopefully you can't see the biscuit churning round and round inside. But while you eat your biscuits, have a chat with your family about times that they have felt really close to Jesus, places that they feel really close to Jesus, times where maybe they've not understood what's going on, but they know Jesus is with them. I guess for me, I quite often feel close to Jesus when I'm in bed at night, because it's all warm and kind of quiet, and I can really think deeply. And another time I can feel really close to Jesus is actually when we're in church, or I don't know, New Wine or somewhere like that, all together, loads of Christians just singing out worship to God together. And that sort of really warms and lifts my heart too. And I'm sure you can think of times where things have been difficult, maybe even now things feel difficult, but you know that Jesus is with you. So enjoy your biscuits. Bye-bye.